The greatest fools are those who believe their own lies. They build their prisons and call them castles. Fyodor Dostoevsky. The wise man wears his virtue as a mask, not as a face, for a face can be scarred, but a mask can be changed. Niccolo Machiavelli. The most effective chain is the one that is invisible. Make a man believe he is free, and he will guard his own cage. Sun Tzu. Never reveal the engine of your mind. Let them see only the polished results, lest they learn how to build one of their own. Baltasar Gracian. A man who parades his honesty is like a merchant who overlights his shop. He is either a fool or trying to sell you something worthless. Arthur Schopenhauer. To command the stage, one must first learn to be comfortable in the shadows, for that is where the audience cannot see the strings. Robert Greene. The most dangerous man is not the one who shouts his intentions, but the one who has mastered the art of a reassuring silence. Lao Tzu. Morality is the luxury of the secure. For the man climbing a cliff, every handhold is a virtue, no matter how jagged. Friedrich Nietzsche. Let your enemy believe he is the hawk circling high above. He will not notice the trap you have set for his feet on the ground. Thomas Hobbes. Hope. To be sincere is to be vulnerable. To be charming is to be armed. Oscar Wilde. A lie spoken with unwavering conviction becomes a truth in the minds of the hesitant. Voltaire. The perfect act of control is to make another person believe that your idea was theirs from the beginning. George Orwell. He who controls the story of the past writes the script for the future. Umberto Eco. The passions of others are the rungs of a ladder. Tread on them carefully as you ascend, for they may break on your way down. Francis Bacon. One does not need to be a lion to rule the jungle. One only needs to know how to speak the lion's language. Napoleon Bonaparte. The shadow you cast is often more influential than the body that makes it. Learn to shape its form. Carl Jung. A promise is a debt you owe to another's foolishness. A wise man pays only in the currency of action, when the time is right. Niccolo Machiavelli. Do not drain the pond to catch the fish. Leave your enemies enough hope to keep them from fighting to the death. Sun Tzu. A man's vanity is the softest part of his armor. A single well-aimed word of flattery can pierce it. Baltasar Gracian. The world does not reward the righteous, but the effective. The tears of the innocent water, the gardens of the powerful. Robert Greene. The will of the masses is a river. You do not stop it. You build canals to direct its flow where you please. Friedrich Nietzsche. A man who is always predictable is a man who is always predictable. Thomas Hobbes. Hobby. The most profound deceptions are not lies, but truths told at precisely the right moment to mislead. Arthur Schopenhauer. The quietest man in the room is either the most observant or the one with the most to hide. Fyodor Dostoevsky. The highest form of influence is to orchestrate events so that others beg you to do what you intended to do all along. Lao Tzu. The flaw in a man's character is the handle by which you may move him. Francis Bacon. Society is a masquerade, and the greatest scandal is to remove one's mask in public. Oscar Wilde. He who forgives a transgression he cannot punish is not merciful. He is merely powerless. Niccolo Machiavelli. Let your plans be as impenetrable as the night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. Sun Tzu. The ambitious man must learn to praise the mediocrity of his superiors, for it is the ground upon which his own greatness will be built. Baltasar Gracian. A reputation is a work of art. It requires as much careful deception to maintain as it does to create. Robert Greene. A man is more easily led by his fears than by his reason. Show him a monster, and he will build you a cage to hide in. Voltaire. The more dogmatic the belief, the more fragile the believer. A single doubt can shatter the entire cathedral of his mind. Friedrich Nietzsche. The illusion of choice is the bedrock of willing servitude. George Orwell. Never mistake silence for agreement. The serpent is quietest just before it strikes. Thomas Hobbes. A secret is not a treasure to be hoarded, but a weapon to be aimed. One of Vioeco. The man who cannot command his own temper is a city without walls, open to any invader. Seneca. He who builds on the love of the people builds on mud, but he who builds on their fear builds on rock. Niccolo Machiavelli. When the enemy is relaxed, make them toil. When they are full, starve them. When they are settled, make them move. Sun Tzu. Do not be the first to speak, for in doing so, you reveal your own position before you have seen the enemy's map. Baltasar Gracian. Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. Arthur Schopenhauer. Drama is the currency of the masses. Learn to mint it, and you will never be poor. Robert Greene. The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Fyodor Dostoevsky. A man will sooner believe a comforting lie than a painful truth, for one affirms his desires and the other his failings. Friedrich Nietzsche. The most dangerous conspiracies are not hatched in secret chambers, but in the open, under the guise of common sense. A useful enemy is better than a useless friend. Napoleon Bonaparte. Sincerity is the most subtle of all deceptions. When all other masks fail, wear your own face. Oscar Wilde. To appear to have no ambition is the greatest ambition of all. Lao Tzu. The world is a stage, but the truly powerful are not the actors, but the playwrights who remain unseen. Francis Bacon. Justice is the weapon of the victor, used to sanctify his spoils and condemn the vanquished. Niccolo Machiavelli. The most powerful man is he who can sow doubt in the heart of his enemy. Sun Tzu. The fool speaks of his plans to the world. The wise man speaks of them only to his shadow. Baltasar Gracian.